Hi guys, thanks for coming to our oils and animals chat. We're going to break down kind of our philosophy on natural holistic animal care, kind of common issues and questions we get, and some easy steps to make caring for your animals naturally affordable and like no work at all. So let me get my screen shared and we'll get started. Perfect. Okay, so welcome to Animals and Oils. All the pictures you're going to see today, I think all but one are pictures of Sam and I's own animals, and then one of a horse at the end is from a natural animal care workshop I got to speak at a few years ago. So these are all of our animals that get loved on with essential oils, with oil-infused products, and you'll see how happy and healthy they look, and that it really is so simple. So people who love animals are my favorite type of people. And people who love animals and love essential oils are really my favorite type of people. So if you're one of those two people, you're in the right place. We want to do a quick introduction. So my name's Jordan Stearns. My group's called The Younger Living, and I am a huge animal lover. So I call myself a dog mom, an animal mom. Kids I do not think are my future, but many, many animals lay before me in my life. So I have 2 dogs, 2 cats. I have a few chickens, and we have bees. Chickens are obviously kind of like my number one passion lately. I really love their little fluffy butts. And we've been working on rebuilding our coop after a predator incident in August. And we've really predator proofed and are getting ready to have another fresh batch of young chickies in the spring. But right now we have 2 little feathered babies out there. We have 2 labs. And yeah, that's just about me. I live in northern Minnesota. We're very cold. And it's been really fun kind of diving into that lifestyle up here, which I think animals and raising animals is a huge part of. Sam, do you want to tell everybody who you are?
I'm Sam. So I have the Homesteading Oiler team, and we live in Connecticut. I live here with my husband, Mo, and my son, Roman, who just turned 1. We, like I said, we have a small homestead. So we have 2 dogs, a pit bull, and a yellow lab. We have 2 cows currently, 2 geese, a ton of chickens, usually we do rabbits. Right now we have turkeys. So everything we do, our dogs are our pets, but the rest of them is solely for to feed our family. So we like to keep everything obviously as natural as possible because we are eating our meat. So we don't want to use medicine if we can avoid it. Obviously, you always do what's best for the animal, but we like to do preventative maintenance. So that's why we kind of graduated to the essential oils, and why we love Young Living so much, because it's safe to use and it makes our meat even better, because happy animals make great meat.
I agree. So we're the perfect blend of animal people, because whether you have your animals for the love of caring for them or your animals are a work or meat animal, every animal deserves to live as natural of a life as possible and be cared for as naturally as possible. So we like to think that we can handle all sides of animal lovers because we truly understand from every aspect that you're coming from. So we wanted to briefly touch on our animal care philosophy. This is something that Sam and I are extremely passionate about talking about. We believe in kind of 3 staple pillars of animal care, which is preventative care, being resourceful, and trusting your instincts. So a lot of times, I will say in every animal Facebook group I'm in, I frequently see like, help, my animal looks like this, or this is happening, and what do I do? And I truly think that when I see those posts, of course, it's good to get help from people and get other people's input on things they might have seen. But number one, like, you should trust your gut instincts. You've been watching your animals. You've been keeping an eye on them. You know what's normal for them and what's abnormal for them. And you understand the baseline of their health. And, you know, animals have emotions. They have stress. They have a lot of different things that can impact them. So you being able to trust your instincts is really important, and trust your judgment for them. Preventative care for me is number one. Obviously, making sure they have a regularly clean home, fresh water, regular food. You know, do they have access to all of their staples? And are you feeding them quality food? You know, do you work on preventative care like fortifying their water, boosting their immune system, making sure they have the right vitamins and minerals? I find that when we start before, I've never had a moment where I went out to one of my animals and said, oh my God, what's happening? I don't know what to do. I've always had the tools on hand to handle it. And I've been able to tell when this is out of my hands and I need to call a veterinarian or a professional. So, we're hoping that this class can teach you to be resourceful by what you keep on hand. We're going to show you some of our favorite products and how we keep things on hand so we don't have to question or run to the store or, you know, feel helpless when we see one of our animals in need. But we also hope that we boost your confidence and able to care for your animal and judge what is going on and know how to handle it yourself. I really want all animal owners to feel empowered, to know how to take best care of their animals and know they're doing everything they can all the time to help them live a healthier and happier life. Sam, do you have anything you want to add here?
I don't think so. I think just like you said, preventative care and knowing your animals and just being hyper vigilant on paying attention to them, because usually by the time you really notice something, especially with like chickens or rabbits, they're pretty hardy animals. And once you realize it, it could be too late. So really knowing your animals is so important, I think. So just pay attention, have the right tools on hand so that when something does happen, and just work on that preventative care.
Yeah, I think that's true because it's just like with humans, like if you say you have a headache and you Google what a headache could be a symptom of, you know, it's from stress to you're dying. You know, there's so many factors, and it's like it's the same thing for animals. You know, you can see a change in a chicken's comb, and we were just talking about this, so that's why we're using this as an example. You can see a change in chicken's comb and it can mean so many different things, from stress to dehydration, you know. So you have to really talk through their environment, what you know they've been going through, the weather that's happening, what you've changed to their routine. And so sometimes like Googling or asking people for help, it can also cause you to be in more concern than maybe you should be, because you know, not everybody, like, you know, in your heart what's best and what's needed. So we're going to go over some of our tools for preventative care and being resourceful, so you have those tools on hand so you can trust your instincts, because it's hard to trust your instincts when you don't have those top two tiers kind of fulfilled. Okay, so this one is very important to me. Chemical exposure and impact on animals. So all of this information right here, obviously, Sam and I, we are not veterinarians. We are not animal professionals. We're just extremely passionate animal owners who have loved animals our entire lives. And we've done our own research, and we've read tons of books, and we've listened to tons of professionals. But this right here is coming from the Blue Pearl Specialty and Pet Hospital in Duluth, Minnesota. And this was just actually written this month, as they are seeing a huge increase in animals in their emergency room due to chemical exposure with what's happening with coronavirus and the pandemic in this country. So here are a few of the top ingredients that they mentioned and some of their side effects on animals. So hydrogen peroxide can cause skin irritation, rashes, and veterinarians use hydrogen peroxide sometimes to induce vomiting. So that's why if you're using hydrogen peroxide, you really want to have a clear recipe or diagnosis from a doctor or veterinarian, so you can just be careful that you're portioning correctly to the size of your animal. Rubbing alcohol, vomiting causes vomiting, disorientation, and in severe cases, collapse, respiratory depression, and disease. Bleach, which is what tons of people are using right now to clean, even just at household dilution, can cause skin irritation, eye irritation, and swelling of the eyes. And if you are not diluting it correctly, and you are using a highly concentrated, you can look at esophagus burning, stomach lining deterioration, and severe depression and vomiting. Ammonia, which is used in disinfecting wipes a lot, is corrosive and can be corrosive to the tissues of your animals. And phenols are in disinfectant sprays and toilet bowl cleaners, which are also corrosive to your pet's skin. I don't know about you, but I have dogs that drink out of my toilets. No matter how hard I try to have so many fresh water things available, sometimes they still can't help themselves but to go drink out of the toilet. And I will let you know, they've taught my cat to drink out of the toilet as well. So with that being said, what do you clean even just your toilets with? And is that getting into your animal's system? So that was something that was very eye-opening to me, that I'm very thankful I do not use these chemicals in my home, so I did not have to worry about what was happening. So a quote from the Blue Pearl Specialty and Pet Hospital was, "Best practices is to keep your products as green and clean as possible. And if you choose to use those noted ingredients, be sure to keep pets out of the room in a secure place while you clean." And I wrote, is this realistic? Because to me, like, my animals hate when they get blocked out of somewhere. They hate when their gates are up. They hate that. And I hate having to feel like I am locking them away so I can clean their home. If what I'm cleaning isn't safe around them, why would I use it around them? Essentially, these things are poison. They're poison to our animals, and our animals are so much smaller than us as humans. They accumulate them faster, and they have much more harm to our animals than us because we're so much bigger than they are. So ask yourself, is it realistic? And if you do this, if you have these chemicals in your home, if you're using commercial cleaners, is it realistic for you to keep your pets kind of locked away until you have cleaned, let everything dry, and there's no residue left over? And are you sure there's no residue being left over on even their dog bowls, on the floors that they lay on, anything like that? And then once you throw away all of your cleaning materials, make sure your garbage bags and cans have lids and are always secure. Do you have a dog that gets into the garbage? Do your trash bags have fragrance in them and your dog eats away in the garbage bag? There are so many ways that there are chemicals in our home that are finding our way into our pets' lives that we are super passionate to show you a solution. So Beyond Green Cleaning is what we are most passionate about, and that is our Thieves cleaning line. We love the Young Living Thieves cleaning line. It is the only cleaner I have in my entire home, in my chicken coop, anywhere. I don't need any other alternative. It truly does the trick. So our Thieves cleaner is plant-based. It's chemical-free. There is no poison control number on the bottle. I challenge you to go under your kitchen sink or wherever you keep your cleaners and look at those bottles and tell me how many poison control numbers you find, or instructions to find if it is ingested, what you need to do if you would in fact have to call poison control. Not only is this chemical free, but because we use only the purest of high quality essential oils that we can trace back from their seed to the seal of our bottle, these essential oils that are in the cleaner actually help boost your immune system. So not only are you cleaning the bad out, but you're keeping the good in and helping you stay healthier and your animals stay healthier by keeping them exposed to this cleaner. Now, usually when we think all natural items, we think it's so expensive. We think, I can't afford that, but I promise you that Thieves Cleaner is extremely cost effective. We're going to talk about that. And the main essential oils we find are cinnamon, eucalyptus, rosemary, clove, and lemon make up our Thieves blend.
So I also want to add too that you were talking about what we can see from our animals when you use commercial products. But think about when you clean all day, or like, obviously now it's different for us, but when we used to clean with the commercial products you would buy at whatever store, and the effects it had on you emotionally, and your head would hurt, you get like a little respiratory thing. You would just feel yucky, I guess, for lack of better terms. Those are things that may not show up in our animals, but that might be how they're feeling. So our dogs or our cats or birds or whatever the animal might be could be feeling these symptoms without us even realizing it. So just because they're not showing signs of cleaners doesn't mean they're not actually feeling the effects.
That's a super good point, because us as humans, we can vocalize like, oh, the smell, I have to get out of here, and animals can't. And if they don't have a free and clear exit, if you're not keeping fresh air, who knows what other effects are slowly building up before it gets too late and you're seeing these side effects. Okay, so we want to talk about cost because this is a common misconception when we talk to people about Young Living or all natural products in general, and that's cost. So if you see this bottle of Thieves Cleaner, that bottle is a concentrate. So that bottle can actually make 20 bottles of all-purpose cleaner once properly diluted. And that makes your Thieves Cleaner about 5 cents an ounce. When you look at some of the other leading brands, maybe you use some of these, maybe you don't. Thieves Cleaner always comes out as a cheaper alternative. But what often gets people caught up is the price tag of the concentrate. So I believe it's like $22.50 is the price of the Thieves Cleaner with your wholesale discount. But if you break that up over 20 bottles, you're looking at $1.13 per bottle of Thieves Cleaner because you're going to dilute it, and that is going to last. That one bottle of concentrate is going to last you quite some time. So if you feel like natural living has been unaffordable to you until now, I promise this is going to change the way you think about that. So a common feedback I get about Thieves Cleaner after people try it is, wow, I almost wouldn't even care if it had chemicals in it because it works so great. And obviously we care if there are chemicals, that is why we're here. But I want you to know that just because something's natural and something's cost effective doesn't also can mean that it's going to work really well. So here are some uses for Thieves Cleaner, from your pet beds to your feed bowls, to your water troughs, to nesting boxes, to toilets, the floors, the carpets, anything in your home to anything in your animal's home, you can clean with Thieves. So right now, when we're going to talk about essential oils in in your animal's life, there's one thing I want to make extremely clear. I will never recommend any essential oil other than Young Living essential oils. Their quality is what matters. When you see these stories about animals being harmed by essential oils, every time when I've looked at the source of those essential oils, they have been cheap quality essential oils. Now, there really isn't a lot of regulation on labeling of essential oils. So you can see an oil that says 100% organic essential oil, but in the bottle, it really only has to make up that 5% of that solution is an organic essential oil. And one of the most common fillers is alcohol, or other cheap fillers. And what did we learn about something like rubbing alcohol from earlier on? It can be toxic when ingested or closely applied to animals. So whenever you see that, it's due to a lack of information and quality. So that is why we are very adamant about only using Young Living essential oils, because we have personally been to the farms. We've planted plants in their fields. We've seen them go through the whole process, and they are the only company that allows that much transparency for us to be able to feel confident using those essential oils on our animals. Because our animals are small and sensitive, we only want the best for them, and we only want the best for your animals. So that is the only brand we are going to talk about today. The most used reference material that I will also recommend for every animal lover to have who wants to use essential oils in their home is the animal desk reference. So I will create a link in the description for access to this book, but it is formulated by animal professionals and veterinarians and has very specific dilution ratios, common issues you might find depending on what type of animal you're looking for, and what products to use and how to use them on your animal. You can search by anything from canine to avian to fish, and this is really going to be your one-stop shop for knowing everything you need to know. Like we talked about in our pillars of how we feel about animal care, this is how you feel resourceful. Right here is this book. Whenever I have a question, whenever someone asks me a question, this is the book that I reference. So it's super important for you to be resourceful and prepared and have the tools you need to make the best decision possible for your animals. Just some kind of general and common do's and don'ts that we wanted to go over is that you're always going to want to dilute your essential oil with the carrier oil. And that's just going to create a gentler effect on your animal. And a lot of humans like that as well, to dilute them. You can dilute with any kind of oil, olive oil, vegetable oil, coconut oil. In a pinch, you can use anything you have on hand. You're always going to want to start small and use in moderation so you can gently start using these around your animals and not overwhelm them by using too much too soon. And you're going to want to observe how your animal responds when you're using them so you can understand which oils they like, which oils they don't like, etc. Because care for each animal is going to be extremely different. A few don'ts: never go near your animal's eyes, mouth, or nose, or sensitive areas with essential oils. Those are very sensitive areas that you want to be a pro before even going near them. So avoid those sensitive areas at all costs, and make sure when you're using hot oils such as wintergreen, peppermint, oregano, clove, anything that's going to give you a sensation, that you always dilute and are extremely careful and utilize your reference materials before using those on your animals. Do you have any other safety tips, Sam, you want to include? Some experiences you've had?
I would say this isn't really using the oils on your animals, but when you are diffusing, give your animals an out. If they are able to leave the room, they can get away from it. So I think that's very important too. Just to let them get away from it if they don't feel comfortable with it. Animals are smarter than we give them credit for. So if they can't deal with something, they're going to remove themselves from that situation. So I think giving them an out is super important. I know with my animals, I always like to let them smell the bottle first before I just go using it on them. My cow loves Shush Away. So that's one of the ones that we use all the time on him. And even my dogs, they like to smell the oils before. So it helps them give a little, I guess, knowledge on what you're doing to them. So it makes them feel more confident in what you're doing. So definitely let them smell it, go slow, like you said, and just introduce them that way before just dropping the oils right on them.
Yeah, the first introduction is really important, to be aware of how they respond and how they feel, because that's going to set up the success of the rest of the time you're using essential oils on them. Especially animals have such a higher scent capability than we do. Less is more, giving them distance, giving them a way out, and never forcing an animal to have oils around them. If they're not in the mood, they're not in the mood. If it's not the right time, don't force it. When you're just starting, it can feel intimidating, but I can tell you, my black lab I've had since she was a puppy, and where she would chew on my oil bottles and she would seek them out and she would hide them in her blankets, and she loves her essential oils. So it sounds scary, or it sounds like, okay, this is too much, but it's really not. We just want to make sure you're being smart, and we want to make sure you're really thinking it through before just jumping right in, because I truly believe that essential oils are something to be respected. They're not just trendy. They're not just something cool to use. They are extremely powerful and amazing for us, and I want people to understand and respect how to use them so that we can continue to use them forever and ever and ever. Okay, so we're going to jump in kind of in some animal categories and just kind of show you some of our favorite products. But when we were talking about Thieves Cleaner earlier, that is honestly the number one thing you can do for your animals, is to switch out all of your cleaners. And that's where we just recommend people to start. Start with grabbing your Thieves Cleaner starter kit. It's going to come with everything you need to start switching everything out of your home. Start there, and then start adding these products into your lifestyle so you feel confident and prepared for whatever may come. But honestly, I think we underestimate how much power we have by just switching our cleaners and how important that can be. So first, we're going to start with dogs and puppies because they're just so cute. For emotions, I think of dogs as very emotional creatures. They have a lot of love to give, and it's important to understand their emotions. So common oils I like to use are lavender, peace and calming, or trauma life. If you have a dog that suffers like maybe with separation anxiety, or I know 4th of July is very common for animals to feel stressed due to firework noises, things like that. These are all oils I really love to use. We've used these when we have fostered an animal, when we fostered a dog, when we have found stray dogs on 4th of July who have ran away. These are all oils we use to kind of calm an animal down. Do you have any good emotional pup stories?
No stories, but I would absolutely add Stress Away and Valor to that list.
Yes, two another really good ones. And that's like, if you are an oiler right now watching this, you might love Stress Away over Peace and Calming. And that could be like the same for your dog. Maybe your dog loves Peace and Calming over Stress Away. There is kind of seeing what works for them and kind of seeing what they like best and not just what you like best. Digestive health, we use a lot of Digest, probiotics, or our Ningxia Red antioxidant mix. Ningxia Red is something I add to my dog's feed at least once a week. Probiotics and Digest are something I use commonly when someone's outside eating something they probably shouldn't be and throwing it up later. Anything to calm those kind of puppy issues. And calming their digestive health. Gut health is so important no matter what the animal is. So probiotics are a big one to help include into their routine. For strong bones, we know a lot of dogs can suffer with joint and bone issues as they get older. And so a regimen we really love is sulfurzyme, which is a MSM supplement, as well as BLM, which stands for bones, ligaments, and muscles. And then our CBD muscle rub. Those are 3 we use on our older big dog who, especially in winter, gets a little bit sore. You know, he's almost 10 years old. He's a German Shepherd Lab mix, so he's like 100 pounds, like a human. And, you know, stress on his joints is something that's very real. He's also a rescue. And when we found him, he had like BB gun pellets in him. So he has just some trauma too that have kind of caused some tension in his joints, and with those 3 we've just seen such great results for him. So those are 3 we really recommend including in their diet. Cuts and scratches, because they're animals and accidents happen. Animal Sense ointment is a dream, works wonders. It's just like a salve you can use that's made with beeswax and essential oils, extremely soothing, and it's safe if your animals start licking it. That's what we love about all these products. They're safe to ingest if anything happens, as well as frankincense and lavender oil. But there's so many more things you should add to your toolbox, like your Animal Sense shampoo, purification oil. We have Animal Sense dental chews for your dogs. We also love giving some cinnamon CBD oil to their feed, and obviously using our Thieves Cleaner for puppy accidents on the carpet, as you can see. Can you unmute?
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are your favorite dog?
I would definitely say the number one thing for dogs and puppies is, actually I have 2, is Digest, which I think you should have for every animal, every person, everything. That is the best young living oil, hands down. But also the Animal Sense ointment. That is really great for cracked paws. Me and my lab Remington go for, I'm going to say RUNs a lot because he's laying on the floor. And if I say the word, he's going to up and be so excited. So we go for those a lot, and he refuses to run in the grass. It does not matter if it's a 90-degree day or if it's a 10-degree day. He will run on the cement, in the ice, and on the hot tar. Doesn't matter. So his paws get really rough and cracked and sometimes burnt. And I put that on it, and he usually licks it right off pretty much instantly, but I always see results. So I would say those 2 products are a must for dogs and puppies.
Yeah, and those, like, when we were talking about like being prepared and being resourceful, it's like accidents happen. but be prepared for the accident. You don't want the accident to happen and then be running around your house like, oh, what do I do? I don't have anything to help. I have to rush to the vet for this scratch because I'm just not prepared, with some salve or with something to help heal it very quickly. So it's really simple to be prepared, but these are kind of your baseline tools to help you. Okay, next I want to talk about cats and kittens. I love cats, but cats are extremely sensitive and choosy animals, I will say. Maybe is the right word. They're very specific in how they want their lives. But cats and kittens, I think, are extremely hardy animals and they're extremely low maintenance, which is why it's so easy to become a cat person. But I actually find that there are less products I need for them when I start correctly. And by that, I mean switching my Thieves Cleaner. It's the only thing I clean their litter box with. You can diffuse purification in your home if you have any issues with litter box smell. I also highly recommend a silica-based litter. It has changed my life when it comes to litter boxes and odor. I love the Dr. Elsie's long hair formula, I think is what it's called, and they come in a jug, but that will change your life in litter if you need it. But I only clean their litter box with Thieves Cleaner, and it works amazing. But you could also diffuse purification or diffuse right outside or in your cat room, wherever your litter box is, to help that smell go away. My cats are addicted to Animal Sense cat treats, which are made with ginger oil. Honestly, since we started giving them those, I've then brought them like other treats and they won't eat them. They like go on strike until they get their Animal Sense cat treats. I don't know what it is about them, but they are just addicted. That's Kendall pulling out some treats out of her little treat toy, and they honestly cannot get enough of those cat treats, and they're just so affordable, which makes it really great. If you have cat trees or cat beds, I also just clean mine with Thieves Cleaner. You can, if you have one where you can take the cover off, you can use Thieves laundry detergent to clean with. Same thing with cuts and scratches. If you end up having a cat bite or something going on that you need to heal from, that Animal Sense ointment Sam was talking about is honestly a lifesaver. You can add some extra frankincense and lavender, but the ointment on its own is just a pure rock star. But like we said earlier, diffusing tips, you should always allow an area to leave the room. And around cats especially, I just use less straps in my diffuser than normal. I'm someone that I really load up my diffuser. So if you have cats or animals that are specifically always in the room you're diffusing in, just keep it lighter as you start introducing. But I have, I think, like 7 diffusers in my house. My cats have never had an issue. They have free reign of our whole house. They can go wherever, but I've never seen them shy away or want to run away from my oils. I actually commonly find them trying to sniff my oil bottles and mess around with things. So cats are amazing, and if you get your Thieves Cleaner, it's almost everything you need other than your Animal Sense cat treats for your cats. Okay, chickens and ducks, our favorite. Cleaning, again, the only thing I clean my coop is my Thieves Cleaner concentrate. It's all I use. I use nothing else. I don't need to use anything else. That shit is amazing. For their immune systems, I use oregano oil. We have a Facebook group called Oils and Chickens. I will link that in the description as well. Feel free to hop in that group. There's a ton more specific recipes in there, but we use oregano oil on their feed for their immune health. We use thyme oil to help with their immune system, and I love putting Ninja Red packets in their water every once in a while for maintenance, or when I just see some maybe dehydration or anything else like that going on. I also like adding mineral essence to their water. I have a fortifying coop water recipe in that Facebook group that I really love. Vitamins and minerals are so essential for all of us, but it's how we prevent a lot of illness, is having balanced vitamin and mineral levels. So that's super, super important to get right and to make sure you're keeping up with. For cleaning eggs, I love the Thieves fruit and veggie spray. Typo, whoops, not veggie spray, veggie spray. And the Seedlings baby wipes I actually also keep in my coop as well, which are great for helping clean off an egg real quick. Feet health, if you're a chicken owner, there's some common foot conditions that can happen with chickens. And for that, I use my Thieves spray, the Seedlings wipes to wipe down their feet. and then a combination of thyme, oregano, wintergreen, lavender, and basil oil to help apply to clear any issues up. Sam, what are your favorite chicken and duck products?
So definitely the oregano oil. So if you actually look, there's a couple brands of especially chick starter that on the bag says with added oregano oil. Like that should tell you right there. But they're putting maybe not so quality oregano oil in it. So especially for my baby chicks, I always put oregano, just a couple drops in their bowl, and I always use a metal bowl and mix it up. And that way the baby chicks get a great start right there. Because if you ever had baby chicks, you know how sensitive, I guess they are. And everyone always, you lose one or two. It's just the way it goes. That's why if you buy from like Cackle Hatchery or any of the other hatcheries, a lot of times they'll throw a couple extra in there because it happens. So the oregano really helps prevent that. The other thing I would say is, like you said, the Thieves spray. Our coop is very rustic, we'll say. So we literally just have shavings, and sometimes we throw hay in there, but most of the time it's just shavings. So when I clean it out, I literally just go in there and I spray down the coop. That helps just kind of clean it out a little bit. It also helps with the bugs because there's spiders, there's everything in there. And I don't really care that much, but now that I have a 1-year-old, he goes and collects eggs all the time. So I like to try to keep it as bug free as possible because I don't really want him eating spiders. So that helps a lot. Yeah, I would just say those two are probably my top 2 favorite Young Living products for ducks and chickens.
I know too with my Thieves Cleaner, when I'm cleaning, once I get all my shavings out and it's just like my wooden floor, I actually frequently will take like what's left of my Thieves Cleaner bottle and I'd actually just dump it on the wood floor and let it soak in. So almost those essential oils like stay in that wood floor, and I've never had like a mite or bug issue. I mean, I get the occasional spiders in the roof, but when I'm talking about on the ground level, I've just never had a bug problem, and that's all I've ever used. I also use like a plastic nesting box that I really like because they're very cleanable, and that's been a huge help with the Thieves Cleaner and just keeping the environment super, super easy to clean, because like chicken coop cleaning is the worst. There's just
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And like you said, we don't have, like a lot of chicken farmers will have mite issues or lice issues. We don't have any of that. So our chicken's free range too. So they're able to give themselves dust baths and everything like that. But I also think having the Thieves Cleaner and, like you said, just like throwing it on the floor, and I don't clean it up. Like I just throw it in there. We only have wooden shelves for nesting boxes. We don't have actual like boxes. So they all just sit on the shelves, and I swear they all sit on the exact same shelf. There's like 50 birds on the same shelf every night, even though there's plenty of room. So like that area gets gross. So I just dump it right there.
yeah, it's so easy to just like not worry about like any residue. I'm like, no, perfect, leave the residue behind. That's what I want. And I know chickens especially have such sensitive respiratory systems that it's just a huge reason why you should never be using chemical cleaners in your coop. And having that clean coop is so vital to their routine. You know, chickens are super sensitive to their routine when it comes to their laying cycle, and you want to make sure you're keeping a clean environment and everything there for them. And Thieves Cleaner has just been a super huge help for me. Okay, and last, Sam's gonna take it away because I'm not a cow person. I love cows. I just don't have enough land to have any cows.
Okay, so as you can see, that top picture is my cow Ironhide, and that was a day where he was just moody. So we used Stressed Away. I just put it on his nose. Like I put it all over his nose, and it calmed him down. He stopped mooing at me, and I don't know, it just made him happy. The little guy on the bottom, that is Bud, and he had some severe tummy issues. when he was a little guy. So every 20 minutes, I would put Digize on his belly, and I just continued to walk him for an hour, and he was totally fine. Now, the issues he had was like life-threatening. It could have been very bad, and if I didn't see results within that hour, I would have been calling the vet on a Sunday to have the vet come out for a meat cow, which, if you guys are meat farmers, you know how much you don't want to do that, especially on a Sunday. But luckily I saw results. So that's why I say my number one is Digize. That I've used Digize on every single one of my cows. Like, we've had 5 now, probably 4. Oh, 4. I think we're up to 4. We have 2 now, and then those 2. And I've used Digize on every single one of them. So if your cows get cut, all of our cows, except for one of them, they have horns, so they are constantly hitting each other, or they scrape it on the barbed wire, because barbed wire does not affect my cows, and they just chew on them, so they get cut up like crazy. I would say the Animal Sense Puree Clean, Mendwell, and then the ointment. So Young Living has an Animal Sense line. So they have oils already designed for cuts and scrapes. So when I'm doing my farm stuff, I don't use frankincense. I don't use lavender. I don't have time for that. I like to save those oils for me. I have roller tops on all of my Animal Sense bottles. So I just go out there and I roll it on whatever the issue is. And that cleans the wound, that makes sure that all the bad stuff's out of it. And then you just put a thin layer of Animal Sense ointment on it. Now, if you're a farmer, you've probably heard of Bag Balm. So Animal Sense ointment is the clean, good version of Bag Balm. I used to be like, Bag Balm was my ride or die. That was my favorite product. And then I realized like how bad for you it is. And Animal Sense ointment is now, it has replaced it completely for me. So again, going back to digestion health, you want to keep Digize on hand. No matter what, you need that oil on hand. That should be the first oil. If you're grabbing your Thieves Kit, add Digize to it. That's the one thing you need. And then the Thieves essential oil. It has really great oils in it, like clove. All the oils in it are really good for digestion. So when you're taking care of your animals, obviously they eat everything. So we feed our cows right on the floor. So a lot of times they get parasites from eating off the dirt, off the ground. I guess it's not floor, it's the ground. So you want to make sure you give them Paraguy's essential oil and Digize regularly so that they don't get any of those creepy crawly bugs in them. Because of that, you also want to make sure you work on their digestion health in their water tanks. So stock tanks get really gross. They get super shitty, especially in the summer. You get like the green algae in it. So I like to use peppermint, citrus fresh, and lemon. Those are really good oils to get everything moving. And cows have, I'm going to get this wrong, but I believe it's 5 stomachs, either 4 or 5 stomachs. So they got a lot to work through. Like, that food is going a lot. So they need all the extra help they can get. Not only that, but in the summer, you want your cows to drink extra water because it's hot. Maybe they're not feeling it. That peppermint, that lemon, that citrus fresh, that'll get them to like the taste of the water. So you just mix that right in with the water. It can settle on top, and that's totally fine. They'll mix it up when they put their nose in there. And then just for, if you're washing them, if these are show cows, you definitely want the Animal Sense ointment. That's going to be your favorite to wash them down, keep them clean, if you have brown Swiss or Jerseys or any light colored cow, that Animal Sense ointment is going to keep their white. It's going to keep them super clean and show fresh all the time, because if you're showing your cows, you're washing them every single day in the summer, and it is exhausting. So grab that Animal Sense ointment, dilute it, and get 3 bottles out of 1. It'll go super far with your money's worth, and it works incredibly well.
Yeah, something I forgot to say about dogs too. It's like skunkings, like that animal scent shampoo is like life. Mixing that and purification oil, and a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on the coat, like really helps you to be able to sleep at night when your dog gets skunked, because that happens all the time. Or we live on the lake and my dogs love to take themselves swimming and they just get smelling like lake water and it's gross. And that animal scent shampoo is just top notch.
Oh, fun fact about that too. My dogs actually jump into our cow's stock tank. So they have stock tank cleaners, but because some of them have chemicals in them, I don't want my dogs jumping in that, getting it all over them, getting it on my sheets because they lay on our beds, and also drinking that. So yeah, they will jump in there. So I know that these oils in there will keep them, they're healthy, they're good for them. But not only do they do that, they like to do that and then immediately go to the manure and roll in the manure. So that animal scent ointment is a godsend, especially in the summer when everything is wet and disgusting and you need it.
Yeah, if you're an animal person, like life just happens and it's never a dull moment. And you really do need these things because there's so many things that just come up, like where you're like, what were you thinking? You just look at your animal and you were like, why did you think this was a good idea? And it never is, but you have to figure out how to solve the problem. And so literally these tools, I'm always ready. Okay, so something Sam and I are super passionate about is one-on-one care for people on our team and our customers. So if you are not a Young Living member, or you want to reactivate your Young Living membership, or you have questions about using specific oils on your specific animals, we are happy to help members of our team, and we encourage you to reach out to us so we can help you. If you're already a Young Living member and you're and you have a team, that's great. We're just gonna ask you to kind of follow us on social media, follow our Instagrams, grab into our oils and chickens group, wherever, and we can help more on that basis. But it gets so overwhelming to help people one-on-one that we truly want to give that care to our customers and those that allow us to continue to share these products. So if you're ready to grab your Thieves Starter Kit, we're going to put a link in the bio. We're going to put our Instagram accounts in the bio, as well as our Facebook pages, so you know how to get a hold of us. But there truly is an oil for every animal, and we can make this affordable without you having to sell anything. This isn't some kind of trick, but it can be super affordable, super easy, and you can just see by all the animals you saw in this PowerPoint, like how healthy and happy they are, that they love to be around their oils. Sam, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Grab your Thieves Kit, grab Digest, and grab animal ointment, and then we'll chat. That's what you need. That's what you need to get started. I don't care what kind of animal you have. Even if you have people, like if you have tiny human animals, because my child, I call him like a free range child because he is crazy and he's only one. But yeah, those are the 3 things you need: your Thieves Kit, Digest, animal ointment, and you can do so much with those 3 things, and then we'll slowly get you more products as you run out of the other stuff.
Yeah, for people, animals too, you can use the animal products on yourself. Animal scent ointment I use on cracked heels in the winter. On my feet, I love not wearing shoes. Like no matter what degree it is outside, my feet get horrible. I love animal scent ointment for that. I definitely run out of shampoo in the shower, and all I had was my animal scent shampoo for my hair. I've definitely used, works great. I've definitely used all that. So there are so many products, and we're here to help you every step of the way.
Absolutely.
So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you guys soon. Let me end, maybe. I don't know how to stop recording. Here it is. Bye.